Nicole Norderman with Name. So it is exactly 2:30. It's time for me to reveal to you the new artist of the week. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about UCB, I love many things about UCB, but one thing in particular is Steve Best, who's over on UCB1. He is a breakfast presenter, but he also is in charge of all the music. He coordinates it and he does a fantastic job. And at the end of each month, he sends through a list of all the brand new music that's going to be coming to the station for the following month, and he lists all the tracks and he lists all the artists, and if there's a new artist there, he'll put in brackets undiscovered. And I love seeing who those undiscovered artists are. These are people who, you know, you might not have heard of before. They've just released an EP, or they're just starting out in the world of Christian music. And we have an undiscovered artist today. I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Joe Aiken. I live in a town called Diss in Norfolk with my wife and 3 children. I work full-time and also lead worship at church, and I'm also a songwriter. I've just released an EP called Simply Singing, and it's so exciting to be able to share this with you on UCB.
Short but sweet, but there we go. That is Joe Aiken. He is my artist of the week. We're going to be finding out more about Joe throughout this week. As I said, he is an undiscovered artist, so I'm so excited to share his new song with you, okay? Let's have a little listen now. This is Known for Your Presence. Little bit of Michael W. Smith for you. That's He Will Never End. Well, it's 2:30, which means it's time for us to hear from our artist of the week, which is the undiscovered artist, Joe Aiken. I've had a great time already getting to know him. I've only been listening to him for one day. Hey, I know, very exciting. So to get to know him a bit better, I asked him how he became a Christian.
Yeah, I grew up in a Christian household and became a Christian in the 90s. A conference called Living Water in Norwich, but it wasn't until 2002 that I really became what I would say was a follower of Christ. A group of us from the church went to a Tommy Tenney conference in Norwich, and at this time I was kind of sort of on the fringes of church really. And Tommy Tenney was speaking about the woman who made her way through the crowd to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. Towards the end of the session, Tommy called people forward for prayer ministry, and I just had this feeling that this was the time to find out for certain if God was real or not. So I got up from my chair and I pushed my way past all the people waiting for prayer, just like the woman in the story, and got up onto the stage, and I spoke to Tommy, and he put his hand on my head, and immediately I fell back in the spirit onto the stage. As I lay there, I felt God like I'd never done before.
Amazing testimony there from Joe Aiken, who is my artist of the week for this week. We'll hear more about him tomorrow at about 2:30, but for now, here's his new song. I'm absolutely loving playing this for you. This is Known for Your Presence. So I did just try and look into Chaos Curb collaboration and to see where their name came from. I've not been very successful, I'm afraid. So if anyone from Chaos Curb collaboration is listening right now, or maybe you know something about them, then please do get in touch and let me know where the name came from. I'm very curious. I'm like to be nosy. That is what I do best. Speaking of being nosy, it's time now for our Artist of the Week. It's a great opportunity for us to get to be just really nosy, basically, with a UCB2 artist. And this week, it's Joe Aiken. So I asked Joe how he got into music in the first place.
A good friend of mine, Julian Davies, was the worship leader at the church we went to, and he convinced me that I could sing. He gave me a guitar, and he began to sort of teach me a few chords and sort of mentor me in leading worship. And his obedience to what God was saying to him at that time about me is a massive part of me getting involved in music. At that time, being a musician didn't feature anywhere in any of my plans, and the change that's taken place, it still amazes me.
There you go. God continues to surprise us, doesn't he? He does things that aren't necessarily in our plans, but like Joe said, it was definitely in God's plan. We'll hear more from Joe Aiken tomorrow at about 2:30, but let's hear his new song. This is Known for Your Presence. I'm absolutely loving this. Friend of mine. Well, it's time now for us to hear from our Artist of the Week, who is Joe Aiken. We've been playing his song Known for Your Presence here on UCB2. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, but it's always nice to know where the song came from in the first place, and that's what I asked Joe.
Known for Your Presence came out of a time when God was calling us back to the church we'd actually left. It was the church where my wife and I first met. We've both been baptised there. We got married there. It's where we first became part of the worship band. So there was lots of history. For various reasons, we'd left the church, but we always felt that we would eventually go back there. A few years after that, God started to speak to us about homecoming and gave us a real sense that we needed to go back to that church to be involved in his plans there. Now, we were hurt by various things that had happened through leaving, and this song was kind of part of the journey of us falling in love with the church again, and a real desire to prophesy over its future, and also, looking at the church as a whole and seeing the things that are talked about in the media about the church, and church is becoming known for many negative things, and just really wanting to see the church being known for his presence.
Well, now you know where the song came from. Let's have another little listen. Here is Joe's song, Known for Your Presence.
Songs for worship and words of wisdom. This is UCB2.
Well, it's 29 minutes past 2. I reckon that's good enough to hear from our artist of the week. This week it is Joe Aiken. He's one of our undiscovered artists here on UCB2. I'm loving hearing his song. We'll play that for you in just a moment. But as I said, we've been getting to know him all of this week. So me being me and being a little bit nosy, I asked him what his plans are next. Now, his answer is quite entertaining. Have a listen to this.
Well, recently I actually appeared at our Messi church as my alter ego, MCJ Messi, and performed a rap there. So maybe that's the future for me. For those of you surfing away around YouTube, you might stumble across the performance. But on a more serious note, it's really exciting to see how Simply Singing has been received, and we're believing that God has plans to use the songs. We're just making sure we grab any great opportunities to share the songs, like being on UCB, for example. Plans for the next EP are already bouncing around in my head, but as yet there's no plans for MCJ Messi to be making a second appearance.
Well, you know what I have to say to that, Joe? Never say never. It might be a hidden talent that you have. I reckon he should explore it. What do you make of that? Yeah, I think he should go for it. I'll keep you updated as to whether Joe becomes a rapper or not. I'll get Steve Best, who sorts the music. He'll be on the case. We'll keep tabs on him. If he goes into the rap industry, then we will let you know, and I'm sure we'll end up playing his music. It will probably go on UCB1, but, it might be interesting to see where he ends up with his rap career. I don't know about you, but I've had great fun getting to know Joe over the past week. So for one final time at this point in the show, let's hear his new song. This is The Gorgeous, Known for Your Presence.
Your spirit break out, build up your church to be known for your presence. Bring us together, let revival break out. Build up your church to be known for your presence, Lord. just